Looks like the DSY is reacting nice from that POI that I had marked up from over the weekend, huh? So this is that 1 hour fair value gap right there. So I'm gonna take this and I want to keep this highlighted throughout the week, because this is what I believe that we're playing off of at the moment, right? Price dug down into it and started consolidating. We're going into a consolidation. These are relative equal highs up here, but that's also a purge of buy side liquidity, right? It's also a purge of buy side liquidity. And then we had a strong movement to the downside. But see, like, I don't want to look at that as bearish momentum, right? I know a couple of people, well, I think one person I know for sure posted in the chat a bearish bias on the DSY, right? And I just don't think that there's enough evidence to back that up, right? I mean, I understand what they're seeing, but they are only seeing that on the lower time frame. You see the purge of buy side liquidity that happened on Friday here. And then that strong push down, taking out that low down there, right? So I understand what the dude's seeing, but that's not indicating bearish momentum to me. That's indicating manipulation, in my opinion, right? Let's go to a 4 hour because it looks like we can see a little bit better, right? So first, let's highlight this weekly fair value gap because that's what we playing off of initially. Let me take these executions off. All right, jump back down. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete them sessions too. All right, so check this out, right? I'm going to go ahead and delete that daily fair value gap. Weekly fair value gap. Watch price. Right, we dig down into that fair value gap on the weekly time frame, which we was anticipating, remember? All right, I don't want y'all to pay attention to the candles or nothing. Just watch what price is doing from this line chart. All right, so we traded down into the weekly fair value gap and moved away from it quickly. And in doing so, we created this daily fair value gap in which we was using for our point of interest last week. We wanted to see price dig down in there. All right, so price spent this whole week consolidating, and then going into last week, we dug down into it on a Tuesday, right? We dug down into it on Tuesday, and Look how beautiful that is, bro. Like, I was super duper proud of that shit. If y'all watch my recap video, you would know. All right, so in regards to the trading rules, right, there's that purge the sell side liquidity right there. There's that shift in market structure right there. And look at that. Boom. Perfect. That was perfect. So y'all understand what I'm trying to get you to see, right? Expanded, pull back into the weekly fair value gap, expanded, and now we're like involved in this higher time frame retracement. And if you flip to the candle chart, you could tell that we still are in that retracement, right? I'm not really too worried about price not making a higher high, because it tends to happen like that, right? Look what price does. We expand, we go into this little bit of consolidation. Look at this retracement, right? Look at this retracement. We took our significant low here. No, we didn't. As far as the candle chart, we did, right? Price closed below here. So looking at the line chart, we cleared the majority of the volume liquidity that was resting inside of this consolidation before we expanded higher. But look what happened before we expanded higher. We traded up, we failed to make a higher high right here. So if you would have seen price fail to make a higher high right here, does that mean that we automatically switch our bias to bearish? No, just relax, let price do its thing. You stick with that bias, stick with that higher time frame bias. This is what Buddy's seeing. I don't really want to call them names out because I can't remember exactly who it was, right? This is what he's saying. Price take out that low and come back up and fail to take out that high. So he's basically thinking that this is going to be that reversal. He's trying to pick a top, and that's dangerous. You don't want to try to pick a top, right? We understand seasonal tendencies. I've been talking about it for the last forever now. The last few weeks, I've been talking about seasonal tendencies and how close to the beginning of every year, we get some type of fuckery, right? Where price reverses or goes into a retest or start consolidating. Something is going to happen, but it's only October going into November. So we still got all of November, all of December, 2 whole months, 2.5 months technically, before we see something significant happen. That's what historical data tells us. So just because price failed to make a higher high right here, I'm not going for it. I'm not believing that we're ready to turn around right now. So here's our POI. And sticking with this higher time frame point of interest paid off, did it not? It paid off last week. So we want to go into this week thinking the same thing. And if y'all are not convinced that this thing is going to keep trading higher, then just wait. Like, just wait, because it's not safe to say that price is going into a reversal right now. It's just not safe to say. Oh, that's not it. Sorry. It's right here. 1 hour fair value gap. And look how it played off the high of the weekly fair value gap. Now, would it be too much of a stretch for us to see price dig back down in here? I don't think so. Let's switch back to a higher time frame. Go lay down. Mid, go. I don't have her bed ready. That's why she's looking at me crazy. I'll get your bed in a minute. Calm down. All right. So, like I was saying, it wouldn't be too much of a shot in the dark to say that price could very well dig back down into this fair value gap again. You see what I'm saying? Because usually when we see a weekly fair value gap getting played, it's not going to always just touch it and take off. I've been preaching that almost every call as well. This would be ideal. Like, that's something that you want to see. This is what happens on a good day, right? But this is what happens when, I mean, it's either gonna do one or two things, and that's what y'all need to keep in y'all's head. Like, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And this ain't even the worst. The worst is price just disrespecting it all the way and just busting through it. So we hope for the best, but prepare for what could happen, which is consolidation. And technically, I mean, we've seen that strong reaction out of it, of the weekly fair value gap. That's why I wanted to see price come back down and respect this bullish structure. I wanted to see this low remain intact. So from what we're dealing with right now, let me delete this shit. We made a new high. So now we're playing off a new high. So this is what we're dealing with. And it's interesting to see that price opened up today and dug down into that hourly fair value gap here and tapped the premium high, the weekly fair value gap, the old one. That's interesting. But I'm not sold that this is going to be our low of the week. This is good because now we have sell side liquidity resting below this low that we could use like we did last week. Watch. So look how we traded down and created this low on Monday. There's liquidity resting below previous day's low. So that new daily candle opens up here. We trade up. We get that accumulation that happened. It took 4 hours. Price moved sideways for 4 hours. At midnight, right around midnight, we jammed up and then dumped. Why? Just to take out this low and to dig into that daily fair value gap. And that's when we got our movement that we was anticipating. So far it looks good. We want to see price going into a manipulation, consolidation. All right, let's go into Euro USD. I mean, y'all already know what's going on. Y'all already know what's going on because we just went over the DXY and Euro USD is the exact same, except for inverted. So let's highlight that level. Although it did overshoot it, right? At the beginning of last week, I talked about how price could very well overshoot that gap because it's so small. You anticipate these things. Now, if it was a big one, you would have more room to play in. But anyway, it's very important to note the higher time frame points of interest because price revisits to that. All right, there's one more area that I want. One more area that I want. And it's gonna be the 50% of this bullish, I'm sorry, bearish order block. Right. So I really want to highlight that this could be a target going into Monday and Tuesday to see price get back up in there. And then, you know, use the fib on the swing high to low prices in the kill zone. Yup, it sure is. I can just look at it and tell. Just like on the DXY, price hit that 62%. Price hit the 62% fib level perfectly. And on the euro dollar, it hit that sweet spot level perfectly. Look at that, right? Like, look how price dug up into that level, right? And came back up, straight up into this sell side imbalance. Beautiful. The only thing I don't like about it is this Sunday. That's it. But honestly, I might hop in another swing trade. See, I had a position from up here, like literally close to the top, right? And another position down here. When price did this, I took profits along the way. And when price did that, I took profits. So I got in on one of these 2 days. I'm not exactly sure. So after a week of holding, I took profit, entered another position here. At that time, I was at 2 weeks of holding. And when I got stopped out, it was 17 days of holding. I had placed my stop loss right here. And that was actually in profit from my second position. From my second position, I had placed it right below where I entered. And unfortunately, I got stopped out. Looking back on it, I should have moved this position stop loss up here and this position right slightly in profit. So both stop losses should have been moved back up here because I didn't give the trade room to play out. I'd be shook if it stopped me out and took a higher level. You definitely need to prepare for that possibility because although price just traded up into a beautiful level and it looks logical for price to drop from here. Like, let's make this the high of the week and drop from here in a perfect world, right? It very well could happen. And it makes sense why it should. And it looks like prices, you don't want to get caught up in what price is looking like right now, you know? But as far as the swing trade position, I think what you did was a smart idea. As far as the scalper's position, it was a smart idea as well. But you also need to realize that you are in Sunday's price action, which is going to involve accumulation and manipulation. So I would definitely be looking to take profit right now. Like, why not? Because if price is going to remain in consolidation, which we typically see on Sunday, you start trying to look at it from a bullish perspective, right? And you see price trade up and come back down. Fair value gap, 79% retracement level, close partials, move stop loss down to equilibrium. Price stops you out, it stops you out. If price were to take out this low, I would be taking partials as well. And I feel like that low is about to get hit because if you look on the higher time frames, there's nothing really significant. It just looks significant on the lower time frames. But something that I could definitely see happening though, it's kind of like what we did on Monday of last week, right? Check out what we did Monday of last week. You see how we had this swing low to this swing high, extend that out in time. And we got this. I'll drop down to a 15-minute. So this was the dealing range that we was playing off of going into Monday. Price already touched that equilibrium and fair value gap, balanced price range, actually. Balanced price range, hit it, started consolidating. Going into Monday, we went long. Going into Monday, we went long. Jumped the gun too early. We caught grip right here, closed partials. Closed partials just in time for price to start the bullshit, right? So going into this week, you could possibly play it the same way. If you're in a sale right now, I would say you're in a good position. That was good. I wish I could have took it. But y'all don't feel like y'all missed something if you didn't. Because if this is truly the high of the week, which we have no way of knowing right now, then that's good. That means we literally got the next 3 or 4 days to get in on New York open pullbacks, London pullbacks, whatever you decide to do. But I would definitely anticipate price reacting from this level down here somewhere. It really wouldn't surprise me if price bounced off the equilibrium or the kill zone level and, you know, just started doing some crazy shit until we get that weekly expansion. It's the same shit, different week, y'all. You go into it trying to catch that weekly expansion. Look what happened last week. That weekly expansion started. It started early. I didn't like the way it started, even though I was lucky enough to sell it from up here. Sold it again right here, and then that bullshit happened. But overall, it was a good ass week last week, man. This is the trade that I wish I would have caught because I analyzed it, I broke it down, and I had my POI right there, and I had the other one right there. So I sent that trade out before I went to bed in this area. And if my London traders didn't catch that, that was a nice one. Price literally jammed straight up into that level and then dumped for like 90 pips. So for argument's sake, right? Let's just say this low taken. Right? I would do it. It really looks like it started some bearish structure early in the week. We literally kicked off the week, the daily candle by jamming up into this level. A strong push down. Look at the change in the state of delivery of these candles, y'all. We took out these lows, created a short-term high right here, took out that short-term high, dug into the sell side imbalance, and now it's dropping. Scalper's paradise. Look at GU. So from a swing trader's perspective, you would want to go into the week with the higher time frame perspective in mind and try to catch your entry on a Tuesday, just like you would catch your entry if you was looking for an intraday scalp, except for you just gonna hold it longer. Is the previous high on GU considered a break of structure? This high right here, if you're talking about a break of structure to the upside, then no. Like, it just goes back to what I was talking about on the DXY, right? See, this looks like a very significant low, the way it just jammed down, right? It looks very significant. I don't know why it won't give me no more data, man. That's bogus. So anyway, yeah, that looks like a very significant low. You see how this low was formed? And that one, that's what this low reminds me of. It really does. But y'all, let's think about it now. If this is truly that final push down before a reversal, what do you think is going to happen? Let's go back. Look what happened, right? It's literally like damn near the same fucking thing that we're seeing now. We got that big push down, and then price went into consolidation, right? It's exactly what price looks like right now, except for we ain't got no nice ass fair value gaps to trade off of right now. But my whole point is, you see that purge of sell side liquidity before it went higher. Now look, maybe remain in consolidation, take that low out, dig down into this order block, see a high get taken, a pullback, and that's only when I would change my bias. It's gonna take time to really develop a bullish bias from something that's been dropping for so long, right? It's gonna take time. I just think it's safest that we keep a bearish bias until something like that happens. Because, like, truly, like, what if this thing, man, as long as I've been trading GU, right? I've been trading this shit for a few years now, which ain't a long time compared to some people, but honestly, man, as long as I've been trading GU, this is the lowest I've ever seen it, dude. When I kicked off trading, around this time, so I ain't never seen price this low. That's insane. I'm used to price being like up in here, but it's just insane to see something like that. And it's very insane to see the euro dollar trading below $1. That's very strange to see. But I don't think it's far-fetched to watch this thing drop more, man. I don't think it's far-fetched. I just don't know why it won't give me no more data, bro. Like, all right, and the midterms coming, and they'll manipulate the shit out of this. You know, the midterms are coming. So the midterm elections is something that is gonna cause price to do one or two things, in my opinion. It's gonna cause price to either run out this high and then go into consolidation before continuing that downtrend, or it's gonna cause price to drop heavy, like a real strong push down, and then a retest before doing something like that. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them hold the dollar in consolidation leading up into the midterms, right? Use the FXCM chart, bro. But is that gonna give me more data? Huh? How about that shit? Bro, I did not know that. I'm over here using Forex.com like it's my favorite parasol. I just try to stick with one thing. Looks like I'm gonna have to change it though. Is there something y'all want me to look at? Indices? Yeah, that's a good idea. I want to see this shit start going higher. That just looks good to me. A push down into this order block to drive it higher to take out that high. The reason it stands out is because of the way this happened. That big push down to run out that low. Let's look on probably a 4 hour and you can see it. Yep. You could really see it. Price trade sideways, it jams down, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. We got a very nice area right there that price played into last week. This would have been your current dealing range. Like, that's insane, dude. Look at that. Price jammed up and took out that high. Take profit. Now we got relative equal highs up here. But that doesn't never mind the fact that we're bearish, right? So we got relative equal highs up there. We could definitely see price trade up. See price take out that high, fill in the rest of that fair value gap, give us a high of the week going into midweek. See if we can't get a push down. But looking at it from the other perspective, you see what price did last week, right? How we traded up, shifted in market structure, deep retracement, but we spun the majority of the week going lower, correct? The high on Tuesday, and we spun all week going lower, and then we got that Friday reversal. I wish I could give this market some raw hamburger and peanut butter. Yeah. Nah, but honestly, man, it's fairly simple. Let's just say going into Tuesday, right? Prices don't work this way down. into this level, it would be safe to say that we could try to find some lower time frame structure to boost us higher into taking out them relative equal highs and to fill in this weekly imbalance. This is the weekly fair value gap, that sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. It's important to note what prices did though on all these pairs, really. Euro USD. Look how it just opened up and gapped straight up, bro. Like it's either doing this. Look at that. It gapped straight up and hit consequent encroachment of that weekly fair value gap, which is this line right here. So it's either doing that for one or two reasons. It's either doing that to jam up before dropping and respecting that weekly fair value gap, or it's doing this in order to create bullish structure, which, damn it, it should react from this level and start going up. It's either doing this to create bullish structure to fill it in and then hopefully get that high of the week on Tuesday going into Wednesday. Wednesday's weekly expansion, right? That's one scenario. Or the other scenario is to jam up into that. We open up, market open Sunday, out the gate, boom, consequent encroachment of the weekly fair value gap, and respect that, right? But it's not safe to jump the gun like that and assume that this is your high of the week, because going into Tuesday, this high could easily get ran Monday, Tuesday, and then history from there. But like I said, if this thing wants to keep going higher, guys, then we got framework. If it wants to go lower, we got framework. If it wants to go higher, then we should see ourselves in this level by Tuesday. Simple as that. To ride it back up to take out this high. That would be our target, Sunday's high. I'm not trying to call both sides of the marketplace. Y'all know I don't get down like that, right? I wanna see this thing really respect this weekly fair value gap and trade lower. I don't think we've seen it, the indices. We really haven't. Like, let's see how long we drop right here. For 17 months. Let's see how long we drop right here. For 10 months. So yeah, I guess we have. But I mean, that was during the recession of 2008. It's actually in a logical, like I was looking at it from the monthly, right? It's actually in a logical area for it to turn around. A lot of these markets are in a logical area to see it turn around. All right, so this one actually looks, I'm telling you, man, all these markets, bro, all these markets, look primed up and ready to sell off as soon as the fucking market opened. Now, what's up with that? Is it a coincidence? Somebody talk to me. Is it a coincidence that all these fucking markets look primed and ready to sell off as soon as the market opens? I don't know, man. Look at the way we opened up at 5 p.m. New York time, jammed up, completely filled in this fair value gap, and reacting right now. I don't know. Like looking at SPX, I would want to see it react from here and trade higher to possibly take out that previous high on the lower time frame, which is there. But it's also
no coincidence.
Right. I don't think it is neither. See, I would want to see this high get ran on an SPX 500, but looking at NASDAQ, it already happened. It already happened. But the way we jammed up here and we're just kind of flagging down, like that's typically what you see. Oh, God. What does retail traders call it? A bull flag? But that pattern right there is fairly strong though. I ain't gonna lie. Like when you see shit like this, it's fair. It works. Because you're gonna have people who's looking at this from a different perspective, like sell, sell, sell. So the question is, did we just do this to complete filling in the fair value gap in order to trade back down? Or did we just do this to take out this high to create more fucking bullish structure? Like, I'm really convinced that this thing is gonna drop from here. All right, you want me to look at NASDAQ futures? There's a little price difference, just like on SPX and the other one. But I see that gap you're talking about right there. See the volume imbalance right there, see that. But overall, we have the sell side imbalance, price trade up into the volume imbalance. Nailed it. We have our higher time frame points of interest, right? So it's just a waiting game right now. Hurry up and wait. The only thing we could do is speculate at this moment. The market just opened. We watching it react from these specific levels, which is a good thing, because we want to see these reactions from these specific levels, right? So it's a good thing that this is happening. We got nice clear targets down here on Euro, these relative equal lows. We have liquidity pool right there. Let's just respect the beauty of this real quick though. You with me? How about that target? You gotta respect the beauty of it, man. I literally called that shit out. Let's see. Let's go to crypto. Last night is when I analyzed it. I didn't send it out until price was already dug into it, but this is when I took the screenshot of it. I just didn't send it out. So let's see. Price look like that. So price was roughly somewhere right here. It was before midnight. That's what price looked like. We completely filled in the gap. And I really caught it just in time because we completely filled in the gap, had a strong reaction out of it. You can't get on the lower time frames on this shit because it's just gonna look like a bunch of nothing. But overall, that was a beautiful trade. And then we had the re-entry, the 1 hour fair value gap. Price dug down into it right before running the target. What made me choose that target? Previous day's high, relative equal highs. That's what. And like I said, I do feel like this thing is gonna possibly keep going up, but I think we decided to take profit at a good level. Right up above that high right there. Because it is starting to, you know, trade lower. And we do got this fair value gap down here on the weekly. That looks like a logical target. We touch that fair value gap, it should boost us up. I got high expectations for Ripple. All right, y'all. With that, man, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I touch back base with y'all going into tomorrow and Tuesday, and keep tabs on our weekly bias. But I just want y'all to keep these levels in mind right here, and the fact that we just jammed up right at market open up into this level right here. I don't think that's a coincidence. Look at that. It's playing off that consequent encroachment of that weekly fair value gap. 50% of that weekly fair value gap. There's 3 levels that you want to pay attention to when looking at a higher time frame fair value gap. And it's them 3. And looking at it from this point of view, from this high to this low, check that out. I think it's gonna drop. So let's just let price do its thing. And y'all know what to be looking for. Peace out.